This is not a story about a natural disaster, but it is already shaking the lives of thousands of Filipino families. Over the past few years, a silent exodus has begun across parts of the Philippines. Factories are shutting down, warehouses are being emptied, and without announcements or headlines, big companies are quietly packing up and leaving. You may not have noticed it yet, but when companies leave, jobs disappear. And when jobs disappear, entire communities begin to slowly break down. The real question isn't which company left. The real question is why they left. Is it rising costs? Is it unreliable infrastructure and power shortages? Is it crime, logistics, or local policy failures? Or are some provinces quietly becoming disconnected from the country's economic future? In today's documentary, we expose 10 Philippine provinces where major companies are leaving at an alarming pace. And for each one, we break down the warning signs that many people only realize when it's already too late. By the end of this video, you'll clearly understand which provinces still have a chance to recover, and which ones may already be entering the danger zone. This video is not meant to spread fear, it's meant to spread awareness. Because when companies leave quietly, the future often leaves just as silently. Number 10. Batangas. Batangas has long stood as one of the Philippines' industrial pillars. With its strategic coastline along the Verde Island Passage, the province became a center for energy generation, petrochemicals, and export manufacturing. For years, massive plants and refineries powered Calabarzon's economy and provided stable, well-paid jobs to thousands of skilled workers. But between 2023 and 2025, that image quietly began to change. Several large petrochemical and industrial facilities scaled down or idled operations. The main issue wasn't lack of demand, it was reliability. Repeated power interruptions, aging energy infrastructure, and storm-related damage pushed production costs sharply upward. Unlike Metro Manila, many provincial plants lacked sufficient backup systems, forcing costly shutdowns during outages. As companies reassessed long-term risk, some chose to leave. The effects rippled outward. Technicians lost jobs, suppliers lost contracts, and small businesses near ports and industrial zones saw daily sales fall. In Batangas, unstable energy didn't just disrupt machines, it disrupted livelihoods built over decades. Number 9. Cavite. Cavite once thrived as the gateway of industrial growth south of Metro Manila. Its proximity to ports and urban markets made it a magnet for electronics, automotive parts, and export manufacturers throughout the 1990s and 2000s. But success brought pressure. From 2023 to 2025, land prices in key industrial areas surged as urban expansion accelerated. Factory lots that were once affordable became real estate assets competing with residential and commercial developments. At the same time, utility costs climbed, squeezing already thin manufacturing margins. Several electronics and assembly firms responded by consolidating or relocating operations to lower-cost ASEAN zones. The exits didn't come with dramatic headlines, just closure notices and quiet transfers of equipment. Thousands of workers were displaced, many forced into informal work or long commutes to other provinces. Cavite's story is a warning about unchecked urbanization. When land becomes more valuable than production, industries lose their footing, and once factories leave, they rarely return. Number 8. Laguna. Laguna earned its reputation as the high-tech heart of southern Luzon. Semiconductor plants, electronics assembly lines, and precision manufacturing once flourished here, powered by a steady pipeline of skilled engineers and technicians. That advantage began to erode after 2023. As living costs rose, skilled workers increasingly migrated to Metro Manila or accepted overseas contracts. Despite training programs, factories struggled to fill critical roles. Production delays became common, and just-in-time manufacturing models broke down. For global firms, reliability matters more than loyalty. Between 2023 and 2025, several companies shifted operations to countries with deeper talent pools and lower attrition. The result was a slow but steady wave of closures. Job losses followed, not only for engineers, but also for trainees, service staff, and nearby vendors. Laguna didn't lose its factories overnight. It lost its people first, and without skilled labor, even the most advanced industrial parks begin to fall silent. Number 7. Pampanga. Pampanga's garment and apparel industry once stitched central Luzon into global supply chains. Factories around Clark and Angeles produced uniforms and sportswear for overseas brands, providing steady income for thousands of families. That stability weakened when global trade conditions shifted. From 2023 onward, higher tariffs on Asian exports and softer demand in Western markets hit Pampanga hard. Orders slowed, margins shrank, and operating costs rose beyond sustainable levels. By 2024 and 2025, multiple exporters shut down or suspended operations. The layoffs hit skilled seamstresses, cutters, and supervisors, workers whose incomes supported entire households and local economies. Supporting industries, from textile suppliers to logistics firms, felt the shock almost immediately. Pampanga's experience shows how deeply global policy decisions affect local lives. When trade barriers rise thousands of kilometers away, factories close at home, and communities built around them must suddenly adapt. Number 6. Bataan. Batan's industrial zones benefited from coastal access and proximity to major shipping routes. Food processing, garments, and light manufacturing once operated efficiently through its ports, but repeated climate disruptions changed the equation. From 2023 to 2025, strong typhoons damaged roads, flooded facilities, and halted port operations for weeks at a time. Missed delivery deadlines strained relationships with international clients who rely on precision timing. For global companies, uncertainty is costly. Several firms chose to relocate to regions less exposed to extreme weather, even if labor costs were higher. The exits left workers unemployed and suppliers without buyers. Batan's challenge highlights a growing reality. Climate risk is now an economic factor. When storms repeatedly interrupt production, companies factor that risk into long-term decisions and often choose stability elsewhere. Number 5. Bulacan. Bulacan became a manufacturing hub by serving booming domestic construction and industrial demand. Steel bending, ceramics, and fabrication plants once thrived across the province, but logistics slowly strangled that growth. Traffic congestion along major highways worsened sharply after 2023, turning short deliveries into multi-hour delays. For manufacturers, time is money, and delays became routine. As logistics costs ballooned, competitiveness dropped. Several companies consolidated operations or moved production to regions with smoother transport networks. The closures erased thousands of jobs and weakened local supplier chains. Bulacan's case proves that infrastructure is not optional. When roads fail to keep up with growth, industries pay the price, and workers bear the consequences. Number 4. Iloilo. Iloilo rose quickly as a BPO and shared services hub, powered by universities and a young workforce. Call centers and back-office operations transformed the province's economy. That momentum slowed after changes to corporate tax incentives. Between 2024 and 2025, several mid-sized BPO firms reassessed costs and relocated to countries offering stronger fiscal support. The closures affected thousands of night shift workers whose incomes supported families and local businesses. Internet cafes, transport services, and rental markets all felt the decline. Iloilo's experience shows how sensitive service industries are to policy stability. When incentives change suddenly, investment moves just as fast. Number 3. Cebu. Cebu remains one of the Philippines' strongest economic centers, but competition is fiercer than ever. Electronics assembly and BPO operations here face rising pressure from lower-cost ASEAN rivals. Between 2023 and 2025, several firms shifted production to Vietnam, where trade agreements and labor costs offered clear advantages. Even Cebu's skilled workforce struggled to offset the pricing gap. Job losses followed in both manufacturing and digital services. While Cebu remains competitive, the exits reveal a harsh truth. In global markets, efficiency and cost often outweigh loyalty. Number 2. Negros Occidental. Negros Occidental's economy is deeply tied to sugar and ethanol production. When global sugar prices collapsed, mills faced losses they couldn't absorb. By 2024, several facilities suspended operations, cutting seasonal and permanent jobs alike. Farmers, transport workers, and mill staff all felt the shock. Negros shows the risk of relying too heavily on one commodity. When global prices fall, entire provincial economies can stall overnight. Number 1. Surigao del Norte. Surigao del Norte's growth was driven by mining, but stricter environmental regulations and fluctuating mineral prices reshaped the industry. From 2024 to 2025, several operators halted production or exited entirely, unable to balance compliance costs with volatile returns. Thousands of workers were displaced. Support businesses collapsed. Surigao's story reflects a broader tension between sustainability and investment, one that continues to redefine resource-based economies. As we've moved from Batangas's struggling power grids to Surigao del Norte's tightening environmental rules, one pattern becomes clear. Big companies didn't leave these provinces because they wanted to abandon the Philippines. They left because the ground beneath them slowly became unstable through rising costs, unreliable systems, climate risks, policy shifts, and global competition that moves faster than local recovery. This isn't a story of failure, it's a story of transition. When companies leave, it's not just factories that go quiet. Commutes disappear. Overtime pay vanishes, small shops lose customers, and families are forced to rethink plans they spent years building. These changes don't make headlines, but they reshape everyday life. Yet provinces are not powerless. History shows that regions which adapt, by investing in stable energy, smarter infrastructure, skilled workers, and resilient industries, can recover stronger than before. The question is no longer whether change is coming. The real question is how prepared we are to face it. If you're a worker, a business owner, an OFW watching home from abroad, or a local leader, this story matters to you. Which province's story hit you the hardest? What solutions do you think matter most? Power, roads, skills, or policy stability? Share your thoughts in the comments. If this documentary helped you understand what's happening beneath the surface of our economy, share it with fellow Filipinos. Subscribe to Discovering the Earth for grounded, honest stories about the world we live in, because understanding today is how we protect tomorrow. Salamat, see you in the next journey.